Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. Here from Michigan International Speedway, the 2-mile D-shaped oval past the halfway point in the regular season, we have some breaking news today, and it's Jesse Love announcing departure from Richard Childress Racing at the end of season number 5. His future is already set in stone, but to be announced going forward, but expect an announcement soon. Brad Keselowski and Brandon Jones for Junior Motorsports in the field this weekend as we have a new High Rock paint scheme on this number 8 JRM Cadillac. But you heard the news right there. Jesse Love stepping out of his number 33 for Richard Childress Racing Cadillac at the end of season 5. Big news there, and Richard Childress Racing came out and said this news could not have come at a worse time, as it is going to be interesting to see where Love ends up. Of course, he was with Joe Gibbs Racing originally in the Xfinity Series, won an Xfinity Series championship, and, well, we have seen how things have worked out. In his first season as a Cup Series rookie, it was really rough with Richard Childress, but, of course, this season it's been a very big difference. He's gotten a win. He's been strong at the short tracks. He's put some good efforts up as well on the larger tracks. So, not surprising to see Jesse Love getting the call from another team. We just don't currently know what team it is, but don't be surprised if we have an announcement sometime within the next couple of episodes there. Here in practice in Michigan, car felt pretty good, running low 39s, but couldn't really do much better than that. As you can see, our times up there on the board just kind of got slower as the laps went on. 1, 2, 3, 4 there, as we focus on qualifying here in this High Rock Vodka Cadillac number 8 for Junior Motorsports. Now underway for a goal of a 38.529. Can we actually achieve that here? I wasn't really thinking we could, especially in practice. We couldn't even break into the 38 range, so expecting to kind of be in a low 39 or so again as we head down this back straightaway to turn 2. Then on this run here down into turn 3, kind of missing the bottom lane a little bit as we open up the wheel on the exit of turn 4 down this front straightaway. It's going to be not a great lap. There's the 38 seconds, 39.254. I believe that's our quickest lap of the weekend. Puts us P20 smack dab in the middle of the field here from Michigan. Now, Rajan Caruth, 21st there behind us. Noah Gragson, our teammate, just in front with Zilich as well. Ryan Blaney on pole, 2 back-to-back races. Kyle Busch on the front row. Bowman Haley up there. Chandler Smith in the top 5, as well as Chastain rounds out the top 10 alongside Carson Hocevar. Last episode winner Tyler Reddick finally ending that long winless streak there in Texas. Starts just outside the top 10 in P11. SVG, Christian Eckes there, 36th and 37th. Rough efforts for those two. Definitely watch for them to go forward, and same for Briscoe in 31st. Craftsman Truck Series in as well, Michigan. Tanner Gray picks up the win over Ty Majeski, Brett Holmes, Cassidy Keat, as you see the rest of the finishing order there. But a really interesting playoff grid shaping up that we're going to take a look at all series at the end of this episode. Amazon Prime Series racing as well this weekend. It was Denny Hamlin getting another win over John Hunter, Nemechek, Suarez, Purdy, Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Andres Perez as well. Winner from last episode got his second win of the season there. He is continuously looking like a potential threat for a Cup ride going into next season. Now it's time to go Sunday Cup racing in Michigan.
The push to the playoffs begin now. 10 races left in the regular season, and we continue to see new winners. What can we expect to see today, Steve?
Strategy calls lead. Not just from bubble drivers either. Expect it from guys who want to earn some extra playoff points as well.
Looks like we have to watch out for Justin Haley this weekend. Apparently well prepared, moves up a spot due to Alex Bowman sent to the back after missing driver introduction. So the number 19 Reese's machine to the back of the grid. We'll see what Alex Bowman can put up on the board. He's kind of fallen off over the last few races after such a strong start to the season. Now green flag is out. We're racing here from Michigan, just behind that Trackhouse 00, as Blaney and Kyle Busch lead the field down on this run towards turn number 1. 2 High Rock machines in the field this weekend for Junior Motorsports. Myself and my team teammate, of course, of Noah Gregson in the same paint scheme now, as we got Rajan Karuth there looking to our right rear. Just behind us, a Subway Ford Mustang. Beautiful DMoney paint scheme that he whipped up there for the 17 of Chris Buescher. Buescher, of course, in the bubble for the playoffs. Definitely keeping an eye on what he is going to be able to do, not only today, but over the course of the next 10 races, as that's all we have left in this regular season. So it's crunch time for those bubble drivers. We still only have 2 drivers this season that have won more than 1 race, myself and Christopher Bell. We've got 3, Bell has 2. What can Christopher Bell do today here? Of course, me and him are the top 2 in the regular season standings, and he has been making a little bit of headway in the last few rounds here. Now as we're 3 wide up the inside of the 00, as well as the 9 of Ellie, a bit of contact right there with Connor Zilic. Now Kyle Busch is sinking through the field. In a lap and a half, he's gone from 2nd to 13th. You can tell immediately the Trackhouse driver is struggling hard, and it's going to be a bad day for Kyle Busch. Now it seems like every week we have a 1 or 2 Trackhouse cars really struggle, and then the other 2 run really well, and you don't really know what to expect out of it. But Kyle Busch is just dropping like a rock. Here comes Corey Heim into the mix as well. As you can see, Justin Haley going in the wrong direction as well in that number 60. So heading down this back straightaway into turn 3, we're going to be able to move ourselves towards the top 10 running position. I think it's almost guaranteed that Justin Haley is going to be losing his ride at the end of this season. I think we all expected more. He's still won 4 races in 2 seasons with RFK. It's hard to believe after 2 full years, the way he's run, he's actually got 4 wins, which is, certainly nothing to hold his head low about. Just unfortunately, he's run really rough for, the other 30 races a season in that number 60. Kyle Larson out in front here, only 15 laps in stage 1, and fuel is right on the money. Like, we will be probably running out of fuel shortly after we cross the stripe to end stage at number 1. Now, if caution comes up, that completely turns any potential strategy or fuel concerns out of the mix now, as we are to the outside of the 54 of Ty Gibbs, who's still outside of the playoffs. Hard to believe Gibbs is right now not in the playoffs. Of course, a season 3 champion, several wins last season, just not the season he's been looking for yet in that 54, but don't rule him out. We know what he's capable of now, as we didn't expect a whole lot out of Gibbs, going into last season. Just things weren't really looking great as well going into the playoffs for Gibbs, but yet he ended up going nearly all the way and only missed the final 4 by a single point to the eventual champ of his teammate Christopher Bell. Now as we continue to claw our way forward, battling with Chandler Smith, Corey Heim having a solid run. Heim's going to have to win to make the playoffs, but he has certainly stepped up this season, but still not to the expectation of him and that team as well. I mean, let's keep in mind, 2311 just finally won again last episode in Texas, and with Tyler Reddick, and of course they want to get Ryan Blaney to victory lane. They want to get Corey Heim to victory lane as well, as Kyle Larson continues to lead as these laps go on. Larson has really stepped up over the last handful of races, was probably the favorite in Texas. Didn't quite work out for him there after I brought out that caution and wrecked myself, and he's right now in a battle with the 22 actually of Joey Logano, who's really stepped up today, as we are now pushing the one of Ross Chastain. We're actually working with Chastain instead of fighting door to door, running into the side of him and him running into the side of me. So a bit of a difference here. What a difference a few races can make now, as here comes in our rear view mirror that 48 of Rajan Karuth in the overstock Cadillac. Now he is coming into the mix, and as we came to lap 12 of the stage, I clipped the apron, wash up the track. That 48, he is on it. He's going to look to my inside down this back straightaway. Rajan Karuth now going to move through into P9 as we jump down into the 10th position here, coming to the final 3 laps of stage 1. Chastain, P8, Logano now side by side with Larson for the lead. They are continuing to kind of trade blows for that front position, but Larson's going to edge back out in front of that number 22 as Karuth to the inside of the one. I'm going to follow through with him with 3 to go. Stage ends. Cautions out is for the 45. An engine failure there for Tyler Reddick, and that's going to be 2 back-to-back episodes where the previous race winner DNFs out of the race. Karuth DNF'd in Texas after winning Martinsville. Reddick will be out after that right there, and he of course won last episode in Texas. Kyle Larson wins the stage. Kyle Busch outside the top 30 after starting P2 as we pit for 4 tires as well as Fiel, Logano, Bell, Byron, Hocevar, the top 5. Carson Hocevar is really stepping up recently as we gain a spot over Koop to put us P8. Another track again where we don't really necessarily want to be on the outside for a restart, but that's the position we find ourselves in here now as we get back underway here from Michigan. Stage 2 officially underway. Now 26 laps of racing, 11 additional laps here to make things happen, which means we will have to come into the pits throughout the stage. Look at my rear view mirror right on our back bumper. That's the 31 Richard Childress rookie of Brent Cruz. Off the news, of course, that Jesse Love is leaving. Have they already kind of started to shift focus? You have to wonder towards probably their future star. I mean, of course, Richard Childress Racing probably thought Jesse Love was going to be the star of that team, and he says, hey, I'm out of here. And now they really are going to have to put that focus on Brent Cruz. And then the question is, does Richard Childress downsize the 2 cars? Keep in mind, there are 3 cars with the Hill as well in the number 3 in Love and Cruz. Do they downsize the 2 with Jesse Love leaving, or do they find somebody else to put in that number 33? My opinion is downsize the 2 cars. I mean, they can't make their 3-car team competitive enough, so you got to make a change here. But Brent Cruz coming through the middle there as I washed up on the exit of turn 2. We're 3 wide down the back straightaway. Corey Heim to the far inside into turn 3. Cruz trying to get clear of that 11, can't quite make it happen. Now it looks like he might be clear. It's hard to see from this vantage point. He's not quite. Now Corey Heim still looking to the left rear. Now the 31 gets clear down this front straightaway as we drop to 12th. Here comes Chase Briscoe, who started, 30th? Now up into 13th behind us, and he would actually get to my outside here as we came out of turn 4, come into lap 4 of the stage. And now Chase Briscoe continuing to claw his way forward. He's had a very quiet season in this number 98 Mahindra Tractors Ford Mustang for RFK. By far been the standout of RFK. He is up in the top 10 in the regular season standings, about P6, P7. So Chase Briscoe's having a very solid season. Of course, last season won a couple of races, won the last race ever at Auto Club Speedway. Of course, this season replaced by the brand new Denver Motor Speedway, and that's one of 2 new tracks on the schedule that are both in the playoffs. We will be as well going to Nashville, which replaces Kentucky. Larson still in control. We're only on lap 5 of the stage. It's felt like a lot going on here in stage 2. We're only coming to the start of lap 6 here, and Larson in control, of course, at the site of his first career win back in 2016, and then that Target Chevrolet for Chip Ganassi Racing in the number 42. Now the Target sponsorship, of course, has moved over to us all these seasons later as we'll clear this 11 Safe Light Toyota Camry there of Corey Heim to move us back up into P11. This is another track where the long run really does benefit us, but the draft is so important with this car at a track like Michigan. So you almost don't want to go past a guy like Gilliland when you don't have cars to draft off in front of him. So I was kind of following him, pushing him, trying to gain some time that way, but he jumps all the way up to the outside, and we have no choice but to just drive through. So we take P10, and now back into some stage points betting positions we go as that number 5 continues to control the pace here from Michigan now. And you can see that whole group of cars right there in front of us that would take us up in towards the top 5 if we could be up there in the mix, but obviously a bit separated as now crash. That's the 12 of Zane Smith, blows the tire, goes into the outside wall. Caution is out. Everybody going to be coming into the pits here. We only had 4 laps to field left. We were not far at all from pitting. Zane Smith going to be out of the race, done for the day, as he'll be the second DNF to join Tyler Reddick in the garage. Now Kyle Busch down in 31st, Kozlowski for Rick Ware in 33rd, his second start in the last few races now, as we make a grill tape adjustment going from 35 to 40% coverage of that front grill. Now as we'll get ready to go back racing, gone into the pits P10, we exit P10. It's going to be enough field to make it to the end of the stage, so we can race hard from here on out from lap 15 now with 12 laps to go. So we can run about 15 laps, of course, on field, so we'll be okay easily there. Now as we're going to get forced 3 wide actually there into turn 1. That's the 2, and I believe that was the 18 or 19 of Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman from the back of the field after missing driver introductions, getting aggressive. The elbows out there on Alex Bowman from Arizona as we head down into turn 3. Chase Elliott to the inside of the 34 of Eric Jones, who had a great effort last time out in Texas. That 34 was so strong, and Unfortunately, I drove straight into his door on the exit of turn 4 late in that race. Joey Logano takes the lead briefly. How long can he hold it now as we clear the 9? Elliott really not having a great race here today in Michigan. He is certainly lacking some speed. Last episode in Texas, he was one of the favorites to win, had an engine issue, had to recover, and he ended up recovering very well for a very strong finish at the end of that race, but just came up short of course, winning the race. Kyle Larson's going the wrong direction. You can see he's the car that's right up against the wall, all the way up there in the top 5 as Joey Logano is in control with 10 laps to go, but Larson, I'm sure, is going to be able to carve his way back forward, and we're trying to do the same. We started P10 on the restart. We're down to 14th. We've got some serious work to do as we sail it off into turn 3 behind that Trackhouse 00 of Connor Zilic now as we continue to reel him in as we use that draft. And then you got Briscoe there in 12th, Caruth in 11th. We're going to give a shot to the back of the 00. We would eventually follow him to the inside of the 2 of Todd Gilliland here. And as we go into turn 3, we will be able to clear that 2 car. So up into P13 as we continue to follow Zilic here in his second full-time season. Now is to give another shot to his back bumper, and we just continue this kind of bump drafting, and it's working. It's working really well, actually, to the inside of Chase Briscoe down this back stretch, and we get alongside the 00 now, so P12, P11, maybe a top 10 in the cards before the stage is over. There's the 10th position because the 48 crashes out from it. Into the outside wall he goes. Yellow flies. Surprisingly, will not be the end of the day for the 48 of Caruth. He will continue on. But yeah, that's going to lead us to a late stage restart now alongside the guy that forced us 3 wide there on that last restart and caught us off guard, the 19 of Alex Bowman, and my former number 19 Toyota Camry now. The green flag is backed out. 4 laps to go here in stage number 2. Kyle Larson lines up P3, Ryan Blaney P5. They're all stacked up behind that 22 of Joey Logano. How about Brent Cruz continues to slowly pick these positions off up into P7. Carson Hocevar there in P6 now as we roll through 1 and 2. Hocevar really starting to come on strong as these races go on as this regular season continues. Now Chastain actually clips the wall on the exit of turn 2. We'll give him a shot to the back bumper to push him forward, get his momentum back going, which hopefully will help myself as well into turn 3 now. Logano still in control, but Larson moves through on to the second position as he passes the number 20 of Christopher Bell. Larson still seeking win number 1 of the season. Logano already has a win. He wants win number 2 this season. He would love to be the 3rd driver to win multiple races as we get into the back of the one of Chastain, continuing to push him forward into turn 1. Kyle Larson to the inside of Logano with 3 to go. He takes the lead back here from the 22 Penske driver. Larson looking to win both the first 2 stages there and pick up 2 playoff points on the day. He won stage 1 in Texas as well. 3 playoff points in the last 2 races certainly wouldn't be too bad for that number 5 who continues to climb his way forward in the regular season standings. Now to the back of the 98 with 2 to go, coming to the final lap of stage 2, and a shot again to the back in turn 3, trying to push him forward there, as now we would get to the inside on the final lap of Briscoe in turns 1. We would pass him, move up into P9 on this final lap in the stage. It's all Kyle Larson down the back straightaway in towards turn 3. Look at the draft, the pole from the 19 to the inside. We go into turn 3. Could we steal 8th position as Cruz passes Byron for 7th? Sure enough, we get to P8, not enough for the 24. Kyle Larson down the front straightaway will win stage 2 over Bell, Logano, Hocevar, and Blaney. Your top 5 here from Michigan stage 2. Caution is out. Stage over. Everybody into the pits again. We're going to have a very large chunk of laps still to go, which will certainly be interesting. I'm hopeful that this doesn't end up like Texas, that turned into a complete wreckfest in that final stage. I would love this race to go green and let things truly play out, but obviously only time will tell. Ty Gibbs has dropped outside of the top 20. Things are not looking promising right now for the 54 bubble driver. Cruz gains 2 spots in the pits, up to P4. We gain a spot as well, but great stop there from the 31 as a green flag is back out. We restart. P7 is going to be 26 laps to go, so still a 1-stop race, of course, once we hit the 15 lap mark. So we're just trying to get to about, well, actually we only need to run 10 laps and we'll be in the field window. So if we can get to lap 55, 56 area will be in that fuel window. So Larson clear on the exit of 2, Logano side by side with Christopher Bell. Then you got Junior Motorsports lined up on the inside. Hocevar and myself now cruise on the outside of that number 4 Degree Cadillac as we go into turn 3, looking for a top 5 position. We have slowly crawled our way through the field. We haven't crawled, we've clawed our way through this grid today now as we're alongside that Bass Pro Shops number 31 down this front straightaway. 25 laps to go here from Michigan. Does Joey Logano have anything for Kyle Larson? I think he does. This is not going to be easy. Although Larson swept the first 2 stages, we already know that 22 has a car capable of taking the lead. What can Carson Hocevar do? He moves through into 3rd. Bell drops to 4th. Now Cruz, actually, after we pass him, he fights back to my inside into turn 1. He'll take the position back. We drop to P6, and now we're vulnerable. We've left the door open on the inside. Here comes Alex Bowman and more. Here comes Chastain as well. Not exactly what we needed to have happen right there. Down this backstretch, we do have the pole from this 19 to kind of maybe pull us back on front of the one. Not quite enough there. So into turn 3, Chastain will get clear, and here comes the 24 Valvoline machine of William Byron as well. We had a bit of contact with Chastain into turn 3. Now we lose out to the 24, the 23 of Ryan Blaney, and after all of that, we drop back down to P10 just in front of the 98 of Chase Briscoe. Larson still out in front. Logano goes all the way up the racetrack right there into turn 1, opening the door wide open for Christopher Bell to maybe move through into 2nd position now as we continue to fight with these guys here for 9th, 8th, 7th, and 6th or so, all in this kind of general area. It feels like the top 4 or 5 cars kind of have more speed than about 6 on back, so it's really making for an intriguing race. But yeah, I don't think we have a car capable of winning this race, that's for sure. I feel like we're probably going to finish about where we're running right now, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th kind of area, but I'll be content with a top 10 today for sure. Now, as you can see, all the way up front, Logano in P2. Kyle Larson's actually moved up the racetrack now as Ryan Blaney again to my inside in that advanced auto parts machine, one of the best games of the season. He will go through and take the position now as Larson has lost the lead to the 22 of Joey Logano. Crash. Chase Elliott goes around in turn 1, collecting the 48, and as well the 88 caution flies, and that's gonna not bring anyone into the pits because we still can't make it to the end of this race. Elliott's day is not over, just like when the 48 crashed big time earlier. Not day over. Brandon Jones for Junior Motorsports, they're gonna pit as well in that number 7. So Chase Elliott, Brandon Jones pit. This is going to be interesting. So everyone else that just stayed out is only going to be able to run, you know, 7-8 laps, and those guys that just pitted, Elliott and Jones, are going to be able to run to within the final couple of laps of this race. This is hypothetically, if it stays green, 17 laps to go. You can go about 15 laps on field. The question is, can Chase Elliott and Brandon Jones now save enough fuel to get to the end of this race? Chastain forces it 3 wide on the rookie of Cruz. That's right there, a learning moment for Brent Cruz going forward. Absolutely. Chastain got the elbows out, said, I'm coming through, as we're up to the back of the 23. Give him a shot to the bumper now into turn 3. Logano in control. Bell. Larson goes to the outside again. That's certainly proven not to work, but he is committed to trying it. But Kyle Larson, who's been the dominant car today, is now fading as he's alongside his Hendrick Valvoline Cadillac 24 teammate of William Byron now, as I'm to the inside nearly, but accidentally gave a shot to the back of the 23, so I boosted him forward instead of got to his inside as we continue in P7. Logano, Bell, Byron, your top 3. How about Hocevar still up here in the top 6 as we continue to just be engaged in this battle? I didn't expect to be able to maintain with this group of cars right here, but here we are coming to 15 to go. We're in the fuel window. We can now make it to the end of this race if we were to pit right now and fill it up on fuel and tires. But now it's looking like a green flag pit stop is on the way as we look to the inside of the 23. So if we pit under green, there's 2 ways this can go. Everyone's going to, of course, wait until the end of the fuel because we don't want to risk giving up a lap and a caution coming out. But if we, of course, wait that long, we could do 2 tires or we could do 4 tires. My situation is I've won 3 races. What are we after right now? We're after playoff points. Well, we're not going to win this race doing the same thing as everyone else, and I'm expecting the large majority of drivers to do 2 tires here. So we're going to try and risk it, and I don't know if it's going to be worth the risk, but we're going to give up some time and take 4 tires and hope that there's a caution that follows shortly after that and closes up everybody, and then we can put those tires to work. So the only way it works is if a caution comes out within, you know, a couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps after we make the pit stop. And speaking of pit stops, that pit stop's coming very, very soon as we clear the 5 of Larson, who's fading as this race enters the final stages. To the inside of the 23 up into P4. What a drive. Joey Logano in control over Christopher Bell and William Byron as we clear the 23, and we would open up the gap to him, and the cars on back. Fuel light on. Coming to 10 to go this time by. Expect to see drivers pit this lap. We're going to stretch it one more lap here as we exit turn 2, sliding on the exit of the corner. But Logano, Bell, Byron, and just about everybody's going to flood into the pits right here as we exit turn 4. We take the lead, and Michigan will lead a lap, but we'll be pitting at the conclusion of lap 61. 10 laps to go. Chastain stays out with me. Brent Cruz, Alex Bowman as well, and a few others. We know the 9 and the 7 are still on the track trying to stretch it to the end. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll exit turn 4. We'll head into the pits now, and the race out of the pits. This is for maybe the net win. Bell, they all took 2 tires. It's Bell, Logano, Byron, Blaney, Larson. The race off pit road, Christopher Bell, and that 20 pit crew has gotten him the lead. We drop down the wedge to 49.5 and increase the right side tire pressures because we know it's a short run, so we want to loosen up this race car as much as possible. So it's going to be 4 tires, and we just hope for the best. We hope for a caution, and to my surprise, the 1 car of Ross Chastain is also going to take 4 tires. So that was nice to see that I wasn't the only one in this boat, but I know that everyone in that top 5 group that we were just battling that just had that race off the pit road, there they go right now. They all took 2. What a race here. That's kind of happening in Michigan. We actually are able to stay on the lead lap, so Chase Elliott's not going to put us a lap down. That is very helpful. We know the 9 car is not necessarily that quick here as well today. It's been a rough day. They're kind of banking on trying to stretch it to the end, and I'm banking on a caution. Look at the positions we've lost. These guys all took 2. So Zilich, as well as Heim, Rajah, Karuth, all these guys in front of us are on 2 tires. So we immediately have to put these 4 fresh tires to work, and I'm going to do exactly that as we head down this front straightaway. We'll go 3 wide here to the inside of the 11 and the 00 now, and we'll gain some track position out of that with 8 laps to go. Actually 7 for the 9 of Elliott. I actually get into the back of the 48, but we'll look to the inside of him down this backstretch into turn number 3. The race for the net lead right now is Christopher Bell out in front over Logano and Byron, who are right there on him. Larson has moved through past Blaney. Then he got Hocevar in P6. How about the 98 of Chase Briscoe having a strong ending potentially here up inside the top 10 as we are P10. We know we can get up to P8 once the 9 and the 7 pit, if they pit. I don't know if they got enough, but they shouldn't have enough to make it to the end, and I just don't see them saving 2 laps of field to make it to the end of this race at a track like Michigan. Now, Elliott has hit 3 laps to go. Still no sign of him pitting, but Brandon Jones has pitted, I can confirm, and as Elliott approaches 2 laps to go, he is going to come into the pits this time. Elliott pitting from the lead of this race, and that's going to hand the lead over to Christopher Bell. There comes the number 9 in now, so we pass Brandon Jones, who's in the pits. We'll pass Elliott another lap around down the back straightaway. Here they come. Bell, Byron, Logano behind a lap car of Sammy Smith. Larson has left Blaney in the distance, but Christopher Bell and that number 20 team got him the lead in the pits, and that's going to be the difference now. 2 laps to go. Doesn't look like the caution's coming, so the 4-tire gamble didn't work. It probably would have with the caution, but obviously we didn't get that caution, and if we got a caution now, it wouldn't matter because the tire advantage is gone. White flag in the air for Christopher Bell. We talked about it earlier. We've only had 2 drivers win multiple races this season. Me with 3, Bell with 2. He might change that here today in Michigan and join me at 3 wins. Your defending Cup Series champion from Season 4 has been on it all season long. He's been in a head-to-head fight with me in the regular season standings for the championship lead as Bell leads on the way into turn 3. Byron to the inside, Bell to the top. There's an open door of opportunity for the 24. Can Byron sneak 2nd win of the season in right here? No, he cannot. Bell has the momentum. Christopher Bell, win number 3 of the season here in Michigan over Byron, as well as Logano, Larson, Blaney, your top 5, host of our P6, Briscoe 7th, myself crossing the line in 8th position. What a race. What a race here in Michigan. Nice to have a race go green at the end after some of these recent ones. As you see the finishing order, and you got a feel for Chase Elliott. Obviously, strategy didn't quite work out for him there. And yeah, I mean, he was down in 25th, just not the day that he was looking for. SVG must have had some issues there, down in 37th, the last car on the lead lap over Smith. As you see, the Truck Series playoff grid to round things out here. 10 drivers, of course, make the Truck Series playoffs right now. So Colby Howard currently the last driver in. Now on the Amazon Prime playoff grid, you have to ignore my own name that's scored in the playoffs because we have won some Amazon Prime Series races this season. So what you have to do is what we're doing similar in the Cup Series where we're ignoring Christian Eckes. Well, you have to ignore Trayton Lapsevich, who was in the car there for the last race there. You see right there with the win. So basically that means Riley Herbst is actually the last driver in the Amazon Prime playoffs over Brandon Jones by 10 points. Now, the Cup Series playoff grid, of course, the one that we're truly focused on, it is myself and Bell at the top with 3 wins apiece, and then all these different winners right down through to 10th. Larson, of course, right now P11, and like I said, ignore Christian Eckes, who had a poor finish today, did not make any headway on the playoff grid. Of course, we talked about his point situation last episode, so the Zilich is the last one in by 7 points over Chandler Smith. Gibbs, SVG, Gregson, they're all right there ready for the taking. Don't rule out a Busher or a Kyle Busch, even Corey Heim, actually. As you can see right now, Retzlaff down to 36 with his win from Talladega, not even close to the playoff picture. Next episode, Kansas, fantastic racetrack. I guarantee it's going to be a great race. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.